Suffice it to say, his stomach was not well, and he scored just 12 points, his fewest in a playoff game, but his passing was key for the Sixers, who shot 5 of 7 on three-point attempts on passes from Embiid and just 5 out of 24 on passes from everybody else. So with Isaiah and RJ, let's take our first look at this game, which was a critical night, and when they desperately needed it, it was Jimmy Butler who came up big for Philly.
Yeah, but I really want to focus more on their physicality and their defense. Like, Jimmy Butler is one of those guys that when he first got there, everybody was talking about, oh, will they fit? Well, they need Jimmy Butler. You look at the way that Tobias Harris can be taken in and out. J.J. Redick can be taken in and out of series. And then, Joel Embiid, he needs a perimeter guy. Shaq needed Kobe. He needed D-Wade. He needs that dominant perimeter guy, and really Jimmy Butler is that guy.
Yeah, when he stepped up big last night when they most desperately needed him. Isaiah, I'm thinking of playoff games, finals games. You played injured. I'm thinking of Michael Jordan, the flu game. Sometimes when you don't feel well, it feels like a player actually elevates. How do you explain that? Because Embiid managed to rise to the occasion last night for his team.
When you're not feeling well or you have an injury, it really limits your options of what you want to do as a player. So you compartmentalize and you say, the only thing I can really do is this one thing. And that's what Embiid was able to do. He focused on getting to the basket. He focused on getting to the rim and getting to the foul line. And once he started doing that and throwing his weight around, he got the Raptors in foul trouble, and it also helped them defensively also with their aggressiveness.
And I will just say this, not to try and blow my own horn, but I suffered from a little bit of that last week and managed to do the show every single day. So I think he and I are very much in that regard on a similar level. But let me ask you this, Isaiah. As you watch this series play out now, I know you told me before this began, Toronto was sort of your pick. Where do you see the edge now? One apiece, and Philly has stolen home court.
I still see Toronto having the edge because they have Kawhi Leonard. And Kawhi has been the MVP of the finals before. I think his experience will step up and stand out. However, when you talk about Embiid's physical presence and the big presence that he has around the basket, I think if Embiid starts throwing his weight around and continues to throw his weight around, it's going to be a problem for Toronto. However, I still think Kawhi will be too much for the Sixers.
Well, it's going to look down to when you look at Toronto and Philly in this series, the more physical team has won. Right? In this second game, look, Toronto only shot 15 free throws. They shot 36% from the field. That's great defense by Philly. If you can hold your opponent to under 40, especially when you get to that 37, 36 range, then you're playing great defense. And if Philly can do that, which I'm not sure they can, but Toronto was so efficient. They were so efficient in that first. So that's really what Philly has to do, is just keep making it more difficult for them to get those high efficiency shots.
Sixers have those games every now and again where they just don't show up. We saw it in one game against Brooklyn. We saw it in game one to some degree in this series. When they play, they're awfully tough to beat.
Yeah, when they do play. But that's the issue, is that inexperience, are they together as they should? That up and down, you see that game one of both series, they really just didn't show up the way they were supposed to, but they've always answered back, and that's a compliment to them.